Uy! Direk! We have a new sponsor! Sponsor to Direk.
Sponsor.
By the way, shout out kay Kuya Arnel's Cooked Sweet Pork Sausage.
Shout out sa ating mga followers sa New Jersey.
New Jersey to?
New Jersey to? Ibang
Pare,
level.
worldwide na
to.
tayo.
Oo. So sa mga mahilig sa sausage dyan, saan ba nila makikita itong mga sausage na to, brother?
Check out rrfoods.com. Sport natin. Sport Pinoy, Sport Local.
Galing.
And we'll see you on the episode.
My name is Gerald. I run a production company called Paper Street Production.
My name is Brian Ordiales. Ako, nagtayo ako ng sarili kong negosyo. That's why we've met. So, I put up Cloud Studios. Direk, bakit nga ba naisip natin tong podcast?
Usually kasi pag naka-whiskey ka, mas open ka.
Mas open.
Diba?
Yeah. Welcome everyone to another episode of Life Over Whiskey Podcast, where we share valuable life lessons and stories you can learn from over a glass of whiskey. My name is Brian.
And I'm Gerald.
And today, Direk J, we've invited another special guest. And I feel like, we have to also let the people know, ano ba yung topic natin?
Alam mo, Bri, timely tong topic natin ngayon, shifting careers.
Shifting.
Kasi, Bri, ako recently, napapansin ko, most of the young people now, or even yung mga middle-aged people, may fear sila to shift careers. So parang ako, naisip ko, napakagandang topic nito para sa mga followers natin.
How can you really shift careers?
Yes.
Kasi, maybe a lot of people right now, like you said, is in a career na they feel like isn't right for them. Pero wala silang courage to pursue their passion.
Nakakatakot din naman kasi talaga. 'Di ba? Pero, again,
Madami reasons, Direk, 'di ba?
yeah, marami. Pero mukhang mag-iiba yung perspective ng mga tao pag narinig nila
Ayan, gusto
yung
natin
sasabihin
yan.
ng guest natin for tonight.
So let's discover more about the life of our guest before becoming a public servant and how he shifted his career. Because not many of you know, Mr. Len Len Oreta started his career in the stock market. He worked for Keppel Securities, ABN-AMRO, and Merril Lynch Securities. So background na talaga is sa finance.
Grabe, no?
So without further ado, let us all welcome our guest for tonight, the former Mayor of Malabon City, Mr. Len Len Oreta.
Thank you for having me, Bri, Direk.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure for us to have you here.
Actually, madaming may kilala sa akin daw ako umiinom, but isang shot para pang pagana.
Yan.
Para mas madaming pag-usapan.
Yan.
So, Len, kamusta ka naman?
Actually, I'm good. Thank you. Physically, I just had my ankle. I had a surgery for my ankle to correct my ankle. So ngayon, nakakatakbo na ako, konting-konti. So hopefully, it'll get stronger. Then eventually, I get back to basketball.
Okay.
So yun ang goal ko para makabalik sa laro, to be able to play basketball.
Okay.
So Len,
Yes.
take us back. Take us back to
Sure.
the time. Siguro, just give a brief background of your story, upbringing, and maybe, how you started in the financial services.
Okay, yeah. Actually, from graduating from college, I ended up applying to all these una sa mga bangko.
Okay.
But I ended up going to a stock brokerage. So I started out at Keppel Securities. At the only reason gusto ko yung sa stock brokerage kasi I wanted to make money. So hopefully malalaki yung sweldo. And then dahil mo naririnig ang lalaki ng bonus. So of course
Was
gusto
it
ko
true?
Actually, eventually, I realized it is true. So, swerte, no? Because you get so much.
Yes.
And at that time, the 90s, ang trabaho lang kasi the market was only open for 3 hours. So imagine, napakasaya. Ang problema lang sa stock brokering, well, I'm sure, even up to now, walang job security. Kasi if you mess up, I'm sure you could just get yourself fired.
Yeah.
Because you'll be losing so much
money.
Yeah. But it was a delight being there. In fact, 3 hours work. Of course, you're stressed at 3 hours. Sometimes there was a time I couldn't forget. I was watching my screen, and I was the only one in the office. I think it was near Christmas. And then I was messing up. So I said, nako, mukhang after this day, baka di na ako babalik dito. Gari na ako. No? So imagine sitting down. I'm looking at my screen. I'm sweating. I'm literally sweating. So talagang parang, nako, sunog na sunog ako. Paano ba to? Paano
Parang
ko
mapawi.
maayos? Maayos kasi, minsan di mo na maayos kasi minsan you put all your eggs in one basket and you go for the kill and yung pala, bitin pala.
Yeah.
May mas malaking kalaban. For example, I'm selling off something. May buyer pala, ang laki ng binibili. Di yari. Diba?
Yes,
Parang
yes.
ganon.
Para sa'yo, ano yung mga natutunan mo during your time doon?
Sa
firm.
stock brokerage.
Yes.
So para palang Wolf of Wall Street
Parang,
to,
di ba? Oo, eh.
Well, actually, pinaka natutunan ko, I think you should enjoy life talaga. Enjoy, don't take things too seriously. Kasi ang maganda sa stock market, every day changes. And it's brought out by current events. So if something happens abroad that will affect the market, definitely, pinaghahandaan yon. And of course, yung mga earnings and companies, lalabas lahat yan, kailangan alam mo din yon. So you have to know current events. Because all of these things affect the market.
Yeah.
So kailangan well-versed ka doon o nalalaman mo na, may something na may mangyayari dito. For example, now, all these talk about China and Taiwan, and Ukraine, because it's affecting the world, no? With all these things happening. You should know what's happening with that.
So parang medyo nagiging resourceful ka talaga.
Oo. At saka now with the internet, dahil mo na mababasa, at that time, what I was looking at was Bloomberg. We have this machine, di ba yung Bloomberg machine, titignan mo lahat yun.
Parang may subscription pa ata yun na paid para
But
makita mo
sa office meron eh.
So it's part of the
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
part of the thing na, okay, ito, tignan mo. Tsaka sometimes, madami ka nakakausap through that Bloomberg machine. Yung mga subsidiaries, office from abroad. So, talk to these people.
So, Len, what I'm getting now is that the reason bakit ka naging stockbroker, it's because feeling mo, nandun ang pera.
Oh, yayaman ako doon.
Yayaman ka doon.
Yayaman ako
Okay,
doon.
okay.
Yes.
And then after that, anong sumunod na career mo?
What made you change or
Oo.
shift
At
your
saka
career?
bakit? Hindi ka ba natakot?
Oo, eh.
I mean, if you're doing good sa stock market, bakit ka bigla nag-shift ng career?
But kasi at that time, also, when I shifted career, feeling ko may naipon na ako.
Oh.
So, hindi ako
Okay.
tatakot. Pero
That makes sense.
kahit pa paano, may sasandalan ako.
And how young were you at that time?
Early 30s?
So yung time na yun, parang feeling mo ba you're not like happy anymore in what you're doing?
No, not really. Actually, when I left the stock market, it's because the company I was working for closed shop.
Oh.
So they left. So I didn't want to go anywhere else.
So you deliberated, okay, do I...
So maybe I should move elsewhere.
Move
or
forward
change
na,
change
okay.
careers because parang it would be nice doing this for a long haul. And of course, you'll do well, you'll earn a lot. But then parang sabi ko, yung stress
Stress
kasi
level.
ang problema doon sa stress sometimes, you get sa stockbroking, I think a lot of people get ulcer.
Yeah.
And sometimes kasi you can't leave your place. Diba? Sometimes you need to take a leak. Or
Yeah.
Now you have to hold it in. So,
Yeah.
mahirap doon.
Yeah.
So, I think for my health also. And then also, I think I want to do something different.
Yeah.
So, that's why maybe I shifted. But at that time, when all these things were happening, I was still single.
Oh.
I think malaking bagay if you have a family. Because if you have a family, I perceive na, you stick with what you know. Kasi something unknown, iba yan eh. You want the consistency.
Correct.
You'll get this paycheck. Kasi you get this amount. Or your bonus time comes, you will get this. Pag ikaw lang, you only have to think of yourself.
Correct.
But pag may asawa ka na, may anak ka na, iba ng usapan yon.
You have more responsibility.
Yes.
Pero Len, di ba? I mean, I agree with you 100%. No? Tama. Pagka once you have your own family, it's
Yes.
different eh. Yung threshold mo sa pagiging mag-gamble sa career mo medyo bumababa
Bababa
na.
oo.
Di ba?
Yung risk mo.
Yung risk factor mo. Pero, hindi ba yung iba din naman, pag nag-gamble sila, nagsasucceed sila?
Madami nagsasucceed. Actually,
Diba?
yung unknown, malaking calling yun eh. I guess kung malakas talaga loob mo,
Yeah.
you could make it work
Yeah.
somehow. Whatever you get into.
Okay.
If you do all the things that you need to do, whatever that may be.
So, after stock market,
I went abroad for a
Okay.
while. I worked for my father in non-life insurance.
Okay.
And then at that time also, my uncle was a mayor in Malabon.
Okay.
So at 2007, I ran as counselor because I wanted to help him out. So that started my public service. I thought, nako, I think I just want to help my uncle do this and that. And not knowing that I'd enjoy doing it. I actually was like, it was not like work to me because I do want to make a difference. Feeling ko, ang dami kong magagawa na makakatulong sa taong bayan, lalo na sa mas maliliit na tao. So yun parang it propelled me to be able to make decisions. Because for a time, like, I have suggestions from my uncle. That my uncle was mayor, I was a councilor, and I would get alopecia because sabi ko, ito gawin natin ganito. Kasi but sa kanya hindi pabor sa kanya. Maybe he doesn't like ganyan or iba style niya.
Yeah.
Iba tayong style. So sabi ko, I think eventually I would want to make those decisions. Yung ganon. No, I mean, it's a learning process actually. My uncle was when he was mayor, he ran twice and he was unopposed twice.
Okay.
After, from becoming mayor. So parang wow, iba yun. No? Walang lumalaban sa kanya.
So, what made you decide to shift careers before? I mean, di ba from
Yes.
stocks and then working for your dad and then
Yes.
after that, public servant.
Yes.
I mean, wala ka bang fear at time na parang, oh, of course, yes, you're single.
Yes.
Pero kahit fear na, baka hindi ko magawa yung role ko dito. Or pwedeng parang, what if I fail?
Kasi parang you're still exploring at that time. Eh,
Oo.
diba?
Yeah.
Although you mentioned na you're surprised na na-enjoy mo siya.
Yes. Well, parang failure was not in my vocabulary. Parang whatever would happen, I don't think mag-fail naman ako. No, parang yung isip ko. Saka yung lagi nasa isip ko. And the mere fact I'm able to do some things as a councilor to pass some legislation and then eventually as mayor to make all these decisions, you see the outcome. May proyekto ka na maganda na nagawa. Tapos it's affecting all these people. Nakakataba ng puso. Parang, wow, okay to.
So there's a certain stoke.
Oo, na parang you want to do more. In fact, one thing I'm very proud of sa yung stunting sa lungsod ng Malabon, which we were able to decrease by so much, from 20% plus to 6%. So it's malnutrition. So it's a one advocacy na parang I'm very proud of na my statistics will show that we were able to do this. And it affected so many kids within the city. So in fact, we shared our best practices with other cities and municipalities to help others to be able to do the same thing. And if you have success, you want to share it.
Correct.
So yun. Because when I first became mayor, what I did also, wala naman guide o how to be a good mayor. There's no such thing, no?
Yeah.
How can you succeed? How can you run your city more efficiently?
Correct.
There's no such thing as that. I look at the best practices in other cities, tapos manipulate ko to fit this Malabon.
Yeah.
Or how it would... Kasi iba-iba yung paniniwala ng bawat tao sa area. Iba-iba yung...
Approach as well, like you said.
Yes. And one thing pala, a lot of people don't like change. Don't like pagbabago or
Correct,
anything.
correct.
They want...
They're scared eh.
Yes. So, kahit pa paano, like, computerization lang. Wala may gusto ng computerization. Diba?
Yeah.
So, but you need these things to make life easier for us.
Yeah.
So, you have to go with the flow. I mean, like, right now, you have all these apps, WhatsApp, all these things to communicate. So, we have to use all these things.
So, Len, ano yung parang key? Bakit sa tingin mo yung audience natin should have a courage? What are the pros and cons?
Yan, pag-usapan natin. Let's go around.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, for me, I think there's no regret. No? Kailangan mo subukan para malaman mo. Okay. And then you'd say, kasi meron dyan, pag ginawa ko to, ito mangyayari.
Correct.
Not always the case, right? You have to find out what it is. You have to live at the present always. So, living at the present includes failure. Diba?
Yeah.
So, kasama yon. But kailangan mo subukan para malaman mo.
Yeah.
And para wala ka ng, life is short.
Don't have regrets.
You gotta pursue what you think will help you out eventually. That's one of the pros talaga. Of course, yung cons, pag bagsak ka, palpak ka, tapos na. Diba? But of course, kailangan meron ka din konting naipon to help you survive this rough times.
Sustain, yes.
Kasi kailangan may timeline ka for anything. May timeline ka. Kaya ko ba within this time range?
Correct.
May may fallback ka. Kasi you can't just go into something na wala kang alam. So you have to know whatever career you choose, you have to know the pitfalls of that career and ways to succeed in that aspect.
Actually, Bri, what I'm getting from Len is that the two of us, pareho tayo eh. Parang, alam ko, ikaw rin, nag-shift ka ng career mo. Ako, nag-shift ako ng career ko. So, what I'm getting now is that, ang talagang dapat, huwag ka matakot eh. Mas lalo na kung mas bata ka, wala kang family, the more na mag-push ka. Pero as what Len said, I agree with him na, try mo lang. Kung mag-fail ka, well, gawa ka na lang ulit ng paraan. Siguro nga, madali siyang sabihin, but case-to-case basis.
Yeah.
So, For me,
Madaling sabihin, mahirap gawin.
Mahirap gawin.
Kasi yun nga, yung unpredictability of all these things.
Correct.
Pero a lot of people would say now, pag hindi gumana to, I can always go back to my former profession, diba? Former career.
Pero babalik tayo sa sinabi ni Len. Sabi ni Len, paano kung pamilyado ka? Paano kung pamilyado ka? There are some people who made it. Kahit pamilyado sila, ni-risk nila. Sige, gusto kong maging content creator.
Kasi they want a better life for their family, not just for them.
Of course.
Ako kasi, like, if you're going to ask me...
with your experience.
Deciding to shift careers, somewhat you have to match it with your personality rin eh. Like ako, I'm a naturally curious person, spontaneous. So parang I'd like to try new things. And by the way, I'm from the financial services industry before as well. But I decided, that gives me one aspect of my life, which is monetary aspect. It can provide for me, but may kulang eh. So I felt that may kulang. And I explored, like you said. And it doesn't need naman that the whole 100% of your time should be dedicated to the new craft or career that you want to pursue. Tingi-tingi, like, test it out first.
Ano yung kulang, Bri?
Ang kulang is parang, we had a guest before and she was talking about ikigai. So reason for being is a Japanese term, meaning reason for being. So there's different aspects of life. Para ma-feel mo na fulfilled ka. It's, you're able to earn from it. You're making a difference in the world. And all those aspects. Yeah. And yung talagang naturally good at ka. And I feel like me transitioning to the creatives, the production side of, in my business.
It's also a risk for you.
It's a risk for me, definitely. Pero yung transition ko na yun, naramdaman ko, I can freaking do this all day. And it surprises me on, sabi mo nga, nagkaka-ulcer yung mga stock. Ako din, nagagagaroon ako. Kasi I can sit down and do this for a whole day. Kung di pa ako tatapikin, uy, kumain ka na ba? Like, you're in the zone, you're in the flow.
Yeah.
So, match it with your personality.
Yeah, it's basically doing something you enjoy doing. So it's not like work. So it's not like you're working.
But the thing is, kailangan i-bridge mo yung gap na enjoy mo ginagawa yung passion mo, but you're also gonna be able to earn from it.
Yes.
Correct.
Hindi pwede kasi you're just doing your passion.
Yes.
Which is yun yung downfall na karamihan. Lalo na like you said, paano pag may pamilya ka na?
Yeah.
Well,
Passion cannot feed your family. Diba? Passion,
you have to be
passion
practical.
alone.
You have to be practical.
Exactly. So that's why, be practical. Don't just jump into a new career that you want to pursue, diba? Your passion. But, decide, be deliberate. Diba? Hindi ka naman mag-jump ship to another career nang wala kang decide, okay, ano yung mga factors to be considered. Diba?
But ako, Bri, sa akin, iba naman ako sa inyong dalawa. Iba naman ang
Sige.
belief ko. Sa akin kasi, go big or go home. Why? No. There's such thing as go big or go home, pero at the same time, calculated risk.
Yun nga, calculated.
Oo. Diba kasi para sabi mo, contradicting naman, go big or go home, pero may calculated risk ka. Just like what Len said earlier, pwede ako sumugal. Susugal ako dito sa career na to, pero dapat may konti kang bala. May baon ka, which is may konti kang ipon. So until now, I still practice it. Kung let's say I want to be a content creator, I want to be let's say a director for us, let's say for a real estate developer, I can always do it. It's because I always believe, go big or go home. Pag nag-fail ako, di iba naman.
You know what? I think those parameters na sinasabi mo, you're setting.
Medyo iba tayong perspective.
Yeah.
Ano?
Yung parameters na yun, I think you just gradually, know those parameters over time through experience. Diba? Hindi siya yung alam mo na agad.
I think, Brian, also the people around you, because then they will give you, malalaman mo kung kakayanin mo eh. Kasi if those people around you is also supporting you with this endeavor.
Yes,
Kasi
support
kung-
system.
Actually,
Kung
importante.
madami
din.
sa hindi mo kaya, kinukulit ka araw-araw, baka,
Actually, ang ganda nun
di ba? Hindi ka nagaganahan.
It's either,
Diba?
it can either be a pro of
Yes.
shifting career or a con.
It's
Kasi
a big deal.
Exactly.
Pero would you say, Len, na ang success mo with your career has something to do with your circle? Meaning your core friends or your family?
How was your support system growing?
Yes.
Well, it's a very small support system.
Okay.
But I guess yeah, because I feel I'm so blessed in the sense na the things I've been able to do, it came easy for me. Parang hindi ko akalain na ganun lang pala. Like when I
Hindi kaya dahil binanifest mo yon.
well, maybe I don't know, no, but when I ran for counselor, everyone was surprised because I became #1 counselor.
Wow.
And pinagtatawanan ako.
Why?
Because feeling, natawag nga ako amboy, di ako marunong mag-Tagalog. But kasi para lang to give you feedback, I kind of grew up in the States.
Okay.
So I lived in the States for a while. I lived in Sri Lanka.
Okay.
So parang mahina talaga ako mag-Tagalog. In fact,
Okay.
sa Ateneo, hirap na hirap. I would read the English version of Noli Me Tangere.
Okay.
Tapos nun, just to understand it, then I would read the Pinoy version. It would take so much time. Sabi ko, hirap-hirap naman ito. Parang, tapos nun, pagdating ng quiz, 5 out of 10. Putek. Babagsak ako dito, sisipain ako sa Ateneo. Sabi ko, ayoko naman sipa. Kakahiya naman, sisipain ako just for Filipino. Eh, alam mo sa Ateneo, sa totoo lang, at the time I was there, 10 sections. Ang dami-daming estudyante. So, sabi ko, paano ba ako papasa dito? I'm spending so much time sa Tagalog, tapos babagsak ako. So, sabi ko, saan ba pupunta tong teacher bago sa class ko? Bibigay ng quiz, di ba? Kung may kakaiba-ganin ako doon. Sige, may konting leakage, bigyan mo ako.
Diniscount yan.
Kaso ako, hindi ko perfect. 8 out of 10. Ganun lang. 7 out of 10.
Partner,
Ay, grabe.
hindi lang pala matalino to si Len.
Hindi.
Street smart.
Hindi,
Street
maparaan lang. Hindi naman nag-ano. Ako, hindi ko, tsaka inaalam ko din naman. Inaalam ko yung content kasi feeling ko at that time, hindi ko iniisip na, nangongopya, mali yan.
Yeah.
Kailangan ko pumasa eh.
That's diskarte.
Diba? Diskarte yun.
Diskarte yan.
At kailangan ko pumasa. Ba't inaalam ko din kung ano yung subject matter, ano yun. Kasi para alam ko.
Yeah.
Kasi hindi naman para, papasa ako, kalimutan ko na yan.
Yes.
Hindi. Kailangan alam ko.
Yeah.
But ang sinasabi ko lang, I couldn't believe that I was spending so much time reading this Noli Me Tangere. Tapos noon, hindi ko pa maintindihan ganun. I have to read the English version. So tagal, parang it took so much time. And Filipino lang yun, di ba? Parang, ang hirap. So mas pinapagtawanan ako kasi sabi, ay, amboy ito, hindi marunong mag-Tagalog to. Ganito, ganyan. He can't express himself well. You know, he can't communicate. Parang gano'n. So parang nasa challenge ako. So what I did, sabi ko, mahina pa yata, ganito, ganyan. I read comics, mga Pinoy comics, para mas gumanda yung vocab ko. Of course, iba yung pagsasalita, iba yung pagsusulat ng Tagalog.
Yes.
Mahirap talaga magsulat ng Tagalog. Pag diretso Tagalog, ang hirap magsalita. Magsulat.
Ako nga born and raised in the Philippines, pero hirap naman talaga lalo na yung malalalim na Tagalog.
Minsan
Hirap
hindi ko,
naman talaga.
hindi ko masakyan agad-agad. So yun, mahirap yun. But it did not hinder me. Parang, pinatatawanan ako ganito, ganyan. But nagulat ka ako, I guess may click something in me that they like. That people like, that could relate to. Kahit sabihin, amboy ako, I grew up ganyan.
So you had that kind of adversity when you were starting as a counselor.
Yes.
And the way you address that is to really be able to relate to the people by the language.
Yeah,
Of course,
at saka I always like feedback, kahit constructive, especially constructive criticism. I'm open to that. I'm not perfect. I have so many flaws. But I'm open to suggestions because I always want to improve myself.
Nice.
So I think that yun one thing sa atin lahat. Because madaming mga tao feeling nila, alam nila lahat. Wala naman all-knowing na tao eh. You know, we're not perfect.
Correct.
Yeah, we're all imperfect.
Correct.
So we should have an open mind for things. A new idea comes up. Wag yan, mali yan, ganito, ganito. Tingnan natin. Open tayo sa ganyan. It could help out. Eventually, di ba? So, kailangan bukas yung isipan natin lagi for all these things. Maybe kaya madami din na pamahal sa akin sa City Hall when I was mayor because I'm open to suggestions and I'm open to things. Kasi yun nga, hindi mo na ako all-knowing eh. In fact, kumakapa nga ako because there's always something. There could be from someone na hindi nakagraduate but to give you good feedback on something. Yung mga nararamdaman niya as experiences niya.
How long did you serve?
Sa Malabon, 15 years.
Wow.
So quite
Very
a
long
long time.
time.
Yeah.
So that's counselor and then...
One term as counselor, one term as vice mayor,
Mayor,
then 10 years as mayor.
Wow.
So pretty long.
I'm just curious.
Yes.
If you were to redo your life, what career path would you go through? I'm just curious kasi you've been a stockbroker and then after that you work for your dad and then
Yes.
public
Public
servant.
servant,
yes.
So, if wala lahat yun, ano yung parang nasa bucket
If you
list
take
mo?
away every single thing, sino si Len Len
Sino yun?
Oreta?
Correct.
Actually, I won't change anything.
Wow.
I won't change anything because sabi ko nga, I've been blessed. I'm into sports. And I think sports parang any game, you're only as good as your last game. Di ba?
Parang sales.
Ganun lang naman talaga eh. I mean, look at Steph Curry, one of my favorite players. I'm a Warriors fan. And I'm not ashamed to say it. And Steph Curry is one of my favorite players. Kasi skill, I mean, siya, practice and practice. He's like, oh, what did you do lately? Diba? Parang he was never given any recognition. He never won the MVP until last year when he had to show up and score all those points in Game 4. But now again, like playoffs are approaching the NBA and he's parang they won't even make it out of the first round. Diba? But sa kanya, I'm sure that's motivation for him. So parang kakabilib na parang, oh, eto na naman. But that's how life is. Diba? Life is full of obstacles. Mahirap yung pinagdadaanan. Wala namang madali sa buhay. I mean, madali lang lahat pag todas sa tayo.
Yeah.
Kasi di natin alam, todas sa tayo.
6 feet under the ground.
Yeah. So as long as you're breathing, may kakayahan ka to do whatever you want to do. So you should never give up because you're breathing. You can do all these things, provided you're healthy. That's why health is wealth also.
So from what I'm getting, marami kang natututunan sa sports.
Sobra. Because talagang makita mo yung camaraderie, yung pagsasama, and I love any kind of sport.
What kind of sports do you do aside from basketball?
Well, I now tennis, badminton, I swim, I run. You know, my bucket list, I want to join a marathon.
Wow.
So that's one of those things I want to do eventually.
Wow.
So, but I have to train for that. Hindi basta-basta yan. Maybe a whole year training for that. No.
Yeah. Pero ngayon that you're not a public servant anymore.
Yes.
What are you doing right now? And do you plan on pursuing anything
Well,
at this point in your life?
actually, right now, I'm going back to school.
Wow.
I'm taking
What?
online courses. No, because I want to improve myself. You know, parang I could learn more things. You know, especially now, mas madali.
Feeling ko learner to si
Hindi. Ang isang hilig ko magbasa. So, parang may actually, natatawa nga mga tao because I'm actually an introvert. Kaya a couple
Parang
of folks,
hindi.
Hindi. But I actually am. That's why parang I'm sure yung mga malalapit sa akin, oh, paano naging politiko to? Di ba? Kailangan pag politiko ka, madami kang kasama all the time. Yung parang ganon. But my uncle, the previous mayor, he was such a politician in a sense na his house was filled with people. When he wakes up, ando yung mga tao. Sa akin, hindi ganon eh. When I became mayor, sa office lang. Huwag kayo pumunta sa bahay ko.
Yeah.
Kasi wala na akong privacy.
Correct.
Hindi, mahirap eh. Hindi, kasi minsan naman, pagod ka din. You don't want to see anyone.
You're human.
Oo. So, sa office lang. Sa office lang tayo. Kung may problema, pag sa office, para akong doktor. Parang one appointment to the next. Parang gano'n, no? So, kailangan kasi may space ka din for things. You have to balance things out.
So what are you studying right now?
Things on leadership. Iba-iba.
Wow.
Yeah. I want to improve myself. And I'm part of this, I'm a Kaya Natin champion. So, if they need to a resource speaker for some things, the things I was able to do in Malabon. So I share those best practices. So I do that too. So I'm open to that.
Galing.
At your age, no? Grabe. Sponge ka pa rin. Open for learning.
Hindi pa ako ganun katanda. I'm 51 lang ha.
Yeah.
But at any age,
but still.
kahit sabihin 80 na ako, kung umabot ako doon, I mean, we still can learn something.
Yeah.
You're open for learning talaga.
Alam mo, Bri, ang pinaka nagustuhan ko ngayon sa usapan natin is learning never stops.
It does. It does not.
Regardless of your age, status, wala. Kailangan matuto ka ng matuto para mag-progress ka in life.
O, kailangan nagbabasa ka, nalalaman mo na nangyayari.
Yeah.
So, any career na you wanna pursue pa ba at this point? Or wala naman na?
No.
Para you're satisfied na ba with...
No, hindi pa rin. I think I want to do some things pa. So
to be announced.
you could follow me at my page, no? Sa Facebook, it's Len Len Oreta and lenlenoreta.com. What I do there, I write all these things para people can get to know me. What simple things. Tignan nyo
para malaman nyo yung mga susunod na kabanata sa buhay.
So,
Len.
Len, before natin i-end yung show,
yes.
I just want to know ano yung key takeaway mo sa topic natin and your advice to our listeners or viewers na gusto mag-shift ng career.
Well, you shouldn't be scared. Of course, in anything we want to try out, something new, it would take a lot of prayers. You just don't go into it naman na basta-basta. Tinitignan mo yan, no? Inaaral mo yan. Everything has a limit. Kailangan hindi tayo matakot sa papasukan natin. Kasi kung pinag-aralan natin, tingin ko magtatagumpay tayo. Tignan natin, pag-aralan natin, at may tagumpay din yan sa huli. Minsan matagal lang nga. So, it depends sa limit. No? Gaano katagal ka mag-iintay or gaano ka yan. So, kung kaya mag-iintay, mangyayari yan. And of course, a lot of prayers would help.
How about you, Brian? What's your takeaway?
Ako, parang download ko tonight is, if you're planning to shift careers, you must assess first, deliberate, And then decide. Once you've made that decision, reassess or reevaluate your decision. Kung tama ba yan or may mga adjustments ka na kailangan gawin. Sabi nga ni Len, what I got from him, like, life is too short. If you can pursue the things that you want to do in life, then might as well do it.
But Bri, ikaw, no regrets with what you have done.
No regrets. No
Okay,
regrets.
yeah, good.
I'm happy that I was able to be in this position and pursue basically my dream. I mean, life is, we're continuously building our masterpiece. And the way we paint it is up to us. So, kailangan lang natin talaga mag-decide, is this the life that I want to live?
Wait, okay ba to quote you on that? Kasi maganda yung life is your masterpiece.
It is. Your life is a masterpiece.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree with that.
How about you, Derek? Anong takeaway mo for our episode?
Well, ako, number one is learning never stops. I was really inspired na any age, dapat hindi ka always contented kung ano yung knowledge mo. Dapat always kang may room for improvement. Kasi kapag feeling mo confident ka na with everything, wala. Hindi ka na matututo eh.
Yeah.
Magpaplato ka na. Take risk, pero meron ka pa ring safety net. Kailangan may backup plan ka. May plan B. Hindi pwedeng puro plan A lalo na pamilyadong ka. So that's my key takeaway. Just go with the flow. Be like water, my friend. Sabi nga ni Bruce Lee.
And with that, thank you so much for listening. Again, invite the people who are listening or watching this podcast episode to your socials.
Actually, check out this podcast, this Life Over Whiskey. Hindi ako umiinom, napapainom ako ngayon. But mas mabuti kargado, mas madaming nasasabi.
Yeah, thank you so much, Len, for being on
Thank you,
our
Len.
episode.
Thank you. Thank you.
And with that, thank you so much for listening. Follow us on our social media platforms at Life Over Whiskey. And we'll see you on the next one.
Bye.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you.
Thank you.